intention is just to support the GP registrars. I know how hard it is for the GP registrar, particularly they are not like UK graduates. If they are from all over the other parts of the country, they have to adapt to the UK life. They have to adapt to the way how people talk here, the accent, and they have to get the culture. They have to get their slangs. There is so much going on the background apart from just the medical knowledge. So just to support them. For example, when I took the CSA, I felt like literally like a lost Nemo on a big blue ocean. So I thought like I should share my knowledge. The junior registrars, they don't need to do the same mistakes I did. So it saves a lot of time and money for them. So they can learn from my mistakes. And my aim is to empower them as an individual GP registrar to celebrate their own strength and be on their own. They don't need to imitate others. So yeah, simple with this intention, I started this CSA SmartGroup. I know what I did. The huge mistake I made in my first attempt is like I tried to imitate how my other UK graduates do. So I lost my own thing. I didn't shine at all. I was like trying to do something which I'm not. And it was like two brains acting at the same time. I was like criticizing myself whether I'm saying the thing rightly, the way how it should sound, the way how should I sit. So actually I was doing the consultation with two minds. But when I changed my mindset, just to accept me as myself and try to strengthen my strengths and improve my weakness, then I got the best marks and I passed my CSA with flying colors. So that's the way it should be for international medical graduates. They shouldn't lose their inner strength, inner power, the special qualities. They have to strengthen the strengths first and then try to improve the weakness. When I failed the CSA exam, it was so awful. It was like so cold night. I can imagine, like it was around like 5ish, 6ish in the evening. We got the result, and I didn't expect it at all because throughout my career, till that day, I was like one of the best students in my school, in my college. I even got gold medal from President of India. So you can imagine how it came as like a blow to me. I was completely shattered. I was like, gosh, I was getting very good, excellent feedback from my trainers and my patients throughout the whole 3 years of GP training. And when I saw that fail, I was like, am I dreaming, or am I looking at the fail word? And then immediately I phoned my father. I spoke to my parents, and I was like crying a lot. But I remember that exact moment. My father like told me, stop crying, Hema. I know you have done so much in the past. So learn from this mistake and do whatever it takes to get that goal. And just do it. That's what he told me. And that's all. I didn't cry at all afterwards. I just took my feedback, look at the crosses. I studied really like reading a Bible. Look at my crosses, and I worked out like how many crosses, which part I have to work on, which are my strengths. And I had a very good, great, big discussion with my GP trainer to help me to go through. And I observed my GP trainers, my program directors, not only the medical knowledge, not only the language, how they talked, but how they behaved, what was the body language, the change in the tone, how they are showing the empathy, just by the facial expression. These make tremendous changes to me. Yeah, so thankfully, even though I failed, even though it's a very difficult situation for me, but now I see it as like a blessing in disguise, because only because I went through that, I can now feel how the GP registrars can feel, and I see their true potential in them, which can be prevented. Just if they know these mistakes, my mistakes, they can learn from it and they can just pass like any other UK graduates in the first attempt with flying colors. I don't have any doubt in it. Personal development is very vital, because if we don't grow, we will die. We will stop emerging as a better person. So what I did in my second attempt is, I didn't see any of my UK colleagues. I just looked at me and I thought, how could I be better than myself? That's all I worked on. So, and all these personal development, all my mentors, all these teachings, like even if I flew to California to learn something for like 4 days, missing my family and my son, but think about the benefits it give, and what benefits whatever I achieve from that, I will just pass on to my junior GP doctors. It is like giving all the empower them, because they don't need to do the same stuff. They don't need to spend so much money or time. They can learn from me just by observing me. So basically, if I spent like 2 years of learning, they can get it from like few days. And I love to do that. I want to pass on my knowledge. I want to pass on my mistakes. I want to pass on my learnings, everything to the next generation, so that they will be a better generation without going through the struggle which I went through. So that is the simple thing. And I would encourage anybody to do that. I'm so passionate to help each and every single doctor, because I see them as like a force to make an impact on the society. Because when I see this doctor, they are just like me. They have dreamt about being a doctor from when they are like a small kid. I remember myself like applying eye drops to my grandparents and pretend to be a doctor. And I grew with the dream, and I can also realize like how difficult for them to get a failure in CSA exam, and how it can break their confidence. But I want to empower each registrar so that they can be a better GP, not only as a person, but as like a passionate GP who love to make a difference in the patient's world by empowering the patient themselves to look after. So it's like a ripple effect. So if I help one GP, and if that GP can make a difference, that's all I need. At the end of my life, I want to look back and see whether I really lived my life, whether I loved my family, my patients, my society, my community, my world as a whole, and did I do anything that matters? How did I make my patients feel? What change I have made in their world? And every day as a GP, I'm getting opportunity. Whenever I see a patient, there is a golden chance to make an impact, to help them, to empower them. So yeah, I want to enjoy every day of my life as a GP. I don't want to go to my job like, so sad and tired. No, I want to look forward to work as a GP. Yeah, that's the main thing. So at the end of my life, I want to really happy that I have done all these things. And I don't want to dream about it. I want to do it. That's it. When I see most of the GPs, not all, but when I see most of my colleagues, they are overworking, they are burnt out, they don't have any enjoyment, or what else? They basically they have to enjoy as a GP, and they have to have the sense to, from the service point of view, not from the receiving side. They must try to do the best for the patients. I know most of the GPs are like that, but at the same time, as an individual, we have to look after ourselves as well. We have to do lots of personal development studies. We have to do something we love to do, so that we'll have the passion and energy. As a battery, we have to recharge our battery so that we can do a lot more good for the patients. I want to put the mindset into the CSA because mindset plays at least 90%, and it is the secret of the success on that big day. Because when the GP registrars, particularly the international medical graduates, go for their exam, they are already molded as a doctor-centered doctor because of their past 10 years of medical education. So they have to relearn, or I would say like unlearn those things, and they have to adapt according to the UK patient-centered consultation style. So basically what I thought, like, instead of telling them all the negatives, it's very important to tell the positive, their strengths, encourage them, and then show examples of what is expected in terms of like psychosocial aspects or body language or voice, because it's all new. In addition to learning the local general practice, we have to learn all these like extra things. So it should be taught, it should be shown, and then it can be tested. It's very easy in that way. Because I learned a lot just by observing my program directors, my GP trainers, and my GP colleagues. Even I learned from my other staff, like receptionists, how they talk to the patient. I have learned so much from my nurse consultants, how they deal with the women in the sexual health clinic. I made myself to make an appointment with them, and I observe them, not to learn the medical knowledge, but to learn the vital important things, how they're using the body language, how they say the things, how they are structuring the questions. It's amazing. I learned so much from my other paramedical colleagues, like my nurses, my counselors. Yeah. There is no story at all, simply because it just happened just like that. In a minute, no, not even a minute, in a second. Because I was preparing for my exam. I didn't even pass my CSA at the time. I was retaking, so I was preparing. And I go through the emails, and I saw an email from my GP trainer asking to send a form for the new job to the Smart GP groups. And I got the Smart GP group straight away, and then I thought, like, why can't we start a free blog in eBlogger, which is free, CSA SmartGroup? And I just wanted to share my knowledge and tips to other GP registrars, so they don't need to feel like all alone. And that's all it started. And we have more than 27,000 views within the 8 months without any advertisements. It's just word of mouth. And I receive emails from the GP registrars all over the UK, from Croydon, from Glasgow, from Leeds, you name it. And I can see the impact it's making on them. I can see the confidence it's giving to them. And I feel so blessed to do this. And yeah, that's all the CSA Smart Group started. But I want to make a difference between the other preparation courses from CSA Smart Group. Is I want to show them the mindset, the importance of having the right mindset on the day of their exam. And I also want to let them know the importance of the body language and the voice and the facial expressions, and the need to observe the patient as a human being, how they are expressing their worries, how they are giving the facial expression. We have got so many consultation skills like Roger Neighbor. It is so beautiful. I want to, teach my GP registrar to see them as a learning tool, enjoy them bit by bit, so that in turn they will do everyday consultation with wholeheartedly, and they will start to enjoy. They don't think that going to a job is like a boring matter. No, they will look forward to it. And with the right place, they can serve a lot to the patient. They will be very proactive, and it makes huge difference not only to the GP registrar but also to the patients they meet. That's all I want. Yeah. It is my company, it's my baby. The most important thing behind this is to empower GP registrars, one GP at a time. But at the same time, 10% of the profit will goes to Royal Amor Trust, where we help poor women and students So like we are empowering poor women and students as well when we do this. So it solves like two purposes. If I can prevent a failure in one GP registrar, that is more than enough, because I'm not only preventing that failure, but I'm preventing the failure of that family, that community, that patients which that GP registrar can help. And you see, MRC GP is like an exit exam, and if we don't pass the CSA, we can't be a GP. And how difficult it will be for that particular candidate after going through all this training, after going through this like years of training and experience, with all his dream to be a GP, if he can't achieve that, it is a massive disaster for him, not only for him, for the whole community or family. So if I can prevent one such incidents, that's all I need. If a GP registrar is taking CSA as like a final attempt, I would say that just stop. Don't think about the failure. Just think about the days you have gone through, the best day in your life, like for example, passing your school exams with flying colors, finishing the medical degree, and even having the pass, being successful in the GP interview exam. So you have done all these things. Is that you? It's nobody else has done that. That's just you did it. And I want to tell what my father told me, like, stop crying. You have done all these things, so you can do this as well. But you have to be ready to do whatever it takes to do that. It's very important to have an open mind and try and strengthen the strengths first, and then look at the weakness and try to improve. Go and have a chat with your GP trainers, your other colleagues. Try to ask for help. There's no harm in asking for help. You're not alone. You can email me. I can help you through the Skype even. I don't mind doing that if it's going to help you, because it is very important moment for you. But one thing I would tell him that, or tell that person, not to lose courage, because I can help you, I can support you, but I can't make you to believe in yourself. It's you have to do that. Only you can do that, and you can do that. That's all I want to tell to the GP registrar.